Here I am at our Irrational Economics Summit in Austin, October 25th to 27th. And the one speaker I have every year, and of course we happen to come to his home city for once in Austin, is Dr. Lacy Hunt. He is a classically trained economist, which I'm not. I grew up from business and marketing and managing and consulting to real businesses. I grew up in the real business world and developed my indicators there. He is a classically trained economist, and yet he understands the economy in ways that economists don't. He understands how debt bubbles build and how they deleverage, including financial bubbles. My favorite indicator from him, which I now literally call the acid test for the economy and for any country in the world, money velocity. Money velocity is just the money supply divided by GDP. So the growth in both of those. What it does, and only Lacy explains this. Most economists can't explain money velocity. When money velocity is rising steadily, it is showing that money is being productively invested so that it creates more profits and more jobs and therefore more money. It's self-sustaining. When money velocity is still growing but starts to slow, it shows you're getting in a speculative stage. People are now saying, like we've seen in the 90s bubble in tech stocks and before, and then money velocity did peak in 1997. It has been falling ever since. Money's starting to go into speculation. Oh, we just buy back our stocks and goose our earnings per share. That's not growing. That's not building factories and hiring people and generating future profits. It's just making the earnings per share higher by limiting the shares. Investors start buying stocks just because they're coming up. And then you see bubbles like the 1990s bubble in tech stocks. And now the latest bubble, 2009 to 2018, and it may last one more year at most. This is the greatest and most global bubble in all of history. Chinese government and builders are building stuff for nobody. That's speculation. So Lacy's indicators are showing that money velocity is declining everywhere. And guess who has the lowest money velocity? My two least favorite top-down run dinosaur countries, China and Japan. China is the lowest. Overbuilding creates excess capacity, creates bad profits, and therefore not good money velocity. Japan has been overbuilding, and now they're just printing money. They're living totally on printed money now for 20-some years. They are basically in a zero-growth long-term economy. They're in a coma because they didn't deleverage debt, as Lacy so well describes and I describe in my books. So deleveraging is natural. Bubbles will happen in the fall season. When interest rates are falling, when economic growth is the strongest, bubbles will happen naturally, but governments have goosed this bubble off the charts, and when it finally burst, they goosed it even more. Unprecedented money printing. This will not end well. And at the same time, this indicator will tell you, and good news for us, U.S. is still the best house in a global bad neighborhood. Our money velocity may be falling. We got bubbles. We have too much debt. We're going to go through a deleveraging, but not as bad as Europe. And Europe is better than Japan, and China is the worst. So money velocity is important, and Lacy Hunt is the only one I've heard explain it so people like you and I can understand it.